Yes. Networking. I'm good to talk about networking. I wrote a book about networking.
I see your face everywhere, to be honest. So the networking works.
It does. It does, yes.
Oh, my goodness. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another interview with the Logan Writers Festival. Sally Eberhardt. Eberhardt. And I have just discovered that she is going to be speaking at the Logan Writers Festival on the Saturday. Oh my gosh. You know, it's a comedy of errors the closer it gets to the festival, and we just, you can't help but laugh at everything. So no. This is hilarious. So we'd found out also that Sally will turn up to the opening of an envelope. So this is really good. The one email you get is the one that you say, come on, do an interview and, promote your talk for the festival.
I can't remember what I'm talking about or what I'm doing or what day it is, but hey, I'm there for the interview.
Thank goodness we keep notes.
Yes.
So tell me a bit about the books that you've written.
Oh, okay. I've only written the one book, which was a self-help, personal development, pain-free networking for introverts, because it's the book I wrote because it's the book I would have loved to have read when I started networking about 20 or 30 years ago and had no clue what I was doing.
Yep.
So I learned along the way, and I wanted to make the journey easier for others.
I feel like that's where I know you from, because I used to go to a lot of different networking groups and networking classes, and I'm not an introvert, but all of my friends are, and so I did it mostly for them.
Oh, nice.
I went on their behalf.
You were wingman for them.
I was their networking wingman.
Beautiful. That helps a lot.
So tell me about some of your favourite points in that book.
Some of the favourite points are that introverts actually make really great networkers. We have networking superpowers, and that are intrinsic to what makes us an introvert, and that's things like a natural curiosity. We like to know things. We like to learn. We like to delve deep into things. So it means when we're talking to someone, we don't want to talk about the weather or or what happened with Kim Kardashian. We really don't care about that whatsoever. We want to know what makes people tick, and it's that interest in people that makes us good networkers. Rhiannon, as an extrovert, you probably love someone who's going to come up and doesn't want the focus on themselves. They're going to ask you all these questions because they want to know all about you.
You know what? It doesn't happen often, but I do enjoy it when it does happen. I feel like everyone is the center of their own universe, and so they love an opportunity to talk about themselves, and finding what they love to talk about is one of my favorite things to do. The moment that you see them light up and they're like, oh my gosh, this crazy thing, and I'm like, yeah. That's now a special thing that we have.
Yeah, that's it, and that's beautiful to make that connection like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I find that introverts they like to dig deep. In a networking situation, they're not going to work the room and try and say hi to everyone. They're just going to get to know a few people, and you've got to trust in the universe, I think, and also be a little strategic, be a bit smart, and a bit open to opportunity. And you'll find that you quite often meet the right three people who can open doors for you and will put you in touch with people who can.
Yeah. There's one of my favourite sayings is there's only 6 degrees of separation between you and any other person on the planet. Yeah. So there's only 6 people between you and who you want to speak to, which is such a valuable thing to realise. And in Logan and Australia, I feel like there's only 2.
I agree. I was going to say, I feel like it's down to 2 or 3 degrees now.
Yeah. Whenever I meet someone overseas that's from Australia, I know their cousin, or I went to school with someone that they know, or there's always something that's connecting us. And it was just so funny that you can be all the way over the other side of the planet and still meet people from back home.
Yes. Yeah, I bumped into Phil Emmanuel in the French consulate in London. Things like that. It's amazing who you bump into while you're overseas.
So what are some of the hardest things that introverts have to deal with when they're networking?
I think it's their own mindset of thinking that they're not good at it. I think that's the first thing to get over, is to have a look at the qualities that you bring to networking, and kind of you can start nodding in your head and going to yourself, you know what, actually, I am curious, I am interested in other people, I do like to build relationships, I'm ticking the boxes here. I actually am better at networking than I thought.
Wonderful.
Yes.
know what? That not believing in yourself is what stops a lot of authors from just doing what they need to do, let alone introverts. And a lot of authors are introverts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is an anomaly to find an extroverted author.
True.
But they often have a disdain for networking because they're like, oh, it just means going in, giving your business card over and making sales. And it's not the case at all.
No, not at all. That's the old networking. I would call that vampire networking. Fortunately, the face of networking is changing, and we're doing it to build relationships. And you could be building relationships with publishers, with people who might buy your book or be able to refer you to someone who might want to buy a lot of your books.
Yep.
So it's all about making those connections.
I remember the first time my books got put into the library, it was because I had met and sat next to and let this gentleman talk my leg off at prawn day. So we're all sitting around tables eating buckets of prawns and drinking rum cocktails. So this is a big networking event that the Beanley Chamber of Commerce puts on every year.
Oh man, I live the wrong side of town.
You have to just come down for it. You'll have to come down for it because it is amazing. Wow. They take us all out to a prawn farm. They have a big tent. Rebel FM is there, and they do this whole big thing. And I remember I sat there and I chatted with this old guy for probably about 2 hours or so, and we just like sloshed on prawns and rum. And then 2 days later, I find that my first 2 books have had like 6 copies bought for the Brisbane Library specifically.
Nice.
Because his wife was in charge of that. So you never know who you're speaking to.
No, you don't know who knows who and where they can direct your services or your books to.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And if you hadn't been there that day, that wouldn't have happened.
No,
so you just have to be out there and try and enjoy it. Just go and think, if I talk to 1 or 2 people at this event, that's a success. I don't have to work the whole room.
No.
Just make those connections with 1 or 2 because you don't know who they know and who they'll bring back to you.
I think that's also part of being a community as well. You get to, like, if you're in a community, you see the same people over and over again.
Yes.
So you don't have to work the whole room. I get FOMO. I'm like, but if I haven't gotten everyone's card, I'm going to miss out on these people. That's not the case. They're coming back. They will be back. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So just collect them as you go. And you can always go back to these things and get more.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, most networking events are fairly regular.
Yes, monthly, and a lot of it is the same crowd over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's community.
It is.
Finding out about each other, helping one another in ways that you didn't realise, and making friends in people that you're not normally accessing.
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny, for some reason, something you've said just twigged with me there. I think you're after writing a whole book about it, and it is a good book. It's an A to Z. It's 5 chapters of mindset, and then the real nuts and bolts of exactly how to do it and how to follow it and that kind of thing. But I can kind of distill it down to 2 main points, really, and that is connect with kindness. So go along, don't even think about yourself, don't worry about yourself, and that's actually easy for introverts to do.
Yep, okay, self is here,
about ourselves.
Put it in a bag.
Yep. We're actually much happier finding out about other people and how we can help them. So just go along and see how you can help others. You might be able to refer them to someone that you know, or even some encouraging advice. It's actually really easy to give. So go along to see what you can give, more than what you can get. Give. And if you do want to follow up, which is where most networkers fall down.
So scary sometimes.
Yes. Well, I found a way to take the ick out of it, and that is follow up with gratitude. Find any opportunity you can to say thank you to someone. And when you think about it, it's really easy. You can thank the speaker. You can thank the organiser. You can thank the person that you spoke to for spending time with you and letting you get to know them. So just frame everything from a place of gratitude, and follow-up becomes really, really easy and much more pleasant.
Oh, I love that. That is beautiful. It brings back a little bit of an old-fashioned chivalry and courtesy, doesn't it?
It does.
Because it's not something we do these days. We're not encouraged to do it. I don't think a lot of people were taught to do it. But just saying, I remember my grandma used to give thank you cards to people
How
after
beautiful.
parties. So someone would
Yes.
host a party or they'd host a
Yes.
special shindig, and she would send them a little card, just one, like it wasn't a foldy one, it was just like one little postcard saying thank you for hosting that event. And some kind of little trinket.
Gracious. But you're right, because not many people do it, it's a way to stand out and be
So
memorable.
much. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's amazing. That in itself, such a good little gem. Such a good little
and
gem.
it makes you feel good.
Yes, yeah. It's kind of like reverse Christmas.
It is. Yeah, you like to make other people feel good.
So, I have a tricky question for you now.
Excellent.
What are you going to be talking about at the Logan Writers Festival?
Well, it was tricky until about 10 minutes ago, but it's good now.
Yeah.
But networking for writers, the why, what and where, or the why, where and how, something like that. We'll cover all those.
So what do you think that writers, the introvert of introverts, like they've created a world in order to avoid people. What do you think they will be getting from this?
Look, I think even introverts actually do like people, and they like interaction with people, and they like to deep dive with people. There's not many introverts who actually just want to be a complete hermit. We do like some social interaction. It's just we only have so much social energy. So we have to manage our social energy. And that's part of just talking with the one or two people rather than trying to work the room. It's just managing your social energy.
Yeah.
So they will get out of it. I hope to take the fear of networking away and put a positive spin on it and say that, look, it can be fun, it can be enjoyable. Whatever you thought it was, you have a rethink and make it what you want it to be. And if it's just an opportunity to meet one or two people who may be of great help to you with getting your book out there, give it a go.
Yeah. There's so much more than just getting your book out there as well, because you can, like, the library example was, that was a getting your book out there one, but someone can give you a completely different avenue that you weren't expecting that would be really good. So coming to chamber events, you always meet someone different. We've met blacksmiths, we've met people that run the barefoot fish place where the fish nibble your feet. Infinite amounts of cafe owners. Honestly, Logan has so many little hidden gem cafes all over the place, and being able to write in cafes feels just so charming. It's so nice to have just an IV coffee drip coming to you. But then you've also got places where you can get different kinds of inspiration from. We have people from the libraries that come, and the council that help with getting grants, come to the Logan Chamber of Commerce events, which is a great place to practice your networking. But we also, I've seen escape room people, people that run game stores.
Right.
And this is one thing that I find my introverted friends do lack a little bit, and they do seem to be a bit too timid to get experience in life, which living vicariously through their books or TV shows or games, they do sort of stop. They cushion themselves against actually having lived something that could be quite thrilling.
They're living in their imagination.
Yes, it's nice and safe there.
Yes.
But I do recommend that anyone goes on something like a haunted ghost tour, or they go to escape rooms. Go horse riding. We have archery tag as well in Logan as well. So you just it's like paintball, but with padded arrows. Yeah. How cool does that sound? And you can network your way to all of these places and meet the people that run them and own them and get special experiences from these people directly.
That's excellent.
There's so much wonder in people.
Yes. Yeah, well, I've found between having a book and some blogs and my networking, that when I had to do a little bit of a pivot and covert from one business into another, the people would start going, oh, you can write. Can you write this? Can you write that? And before you know it, I was copywriting.
Oh, wonderful.
And and basically people would say, oh, can you do some lead messaging? And I'd be, oh, yeah, sure. Google, what's lead messaging? How do you do that? Google's wonderful, but I would just say yes and then dive in and do it.
Yep.
But those opportunities came to me because I wrote a book in the first place.
Yeah. And taking that first step of getting your book from paper in your hands to someone else's eyes is such a big step for writers, and it opens so many doors.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Your talk is going to be exactly what the doctor ordered, I think. So Sally will be there on the Saturday. So we do have a networking event on the Friday. So if you wanted to send me through any YouTube videos or any videos you have, or any podcasts that you have that we can share with the other writers, they can practice that on the Friday evening and see how good their networking skills get by the Saturday.
Excellent. Excellent. We can do something like that.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you are so welcome. I was very excited to hear your talk. So you'll be able to see Sally on Saturday, the 10th at 12:30 at the Logan Writers Festival at the Logan Artists Association. Say that 3 times fast. There's a lot of S's in that. So grab your tickets. Come and see Sally. You will not regret it at all. It's going to be a fantastic talk, and you will get the skills you need to step out of your shell comfortably and network your way to success. Yes. Thank you so much, and we'll see you there.
Thank you.